October 14, 12:14 p.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 4.
My sis?
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice.
So then she's still alive. Inside your heart.
Don't know why this is such a huge surprise, but hey! Mia is helping us!
Hooray!
Nikki boy. Oh, Mr. Light.
Is it true that Detective is the real killer?
To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it.
But wasn't he at Lordly Terror that night?
Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Admin want to kill Kane Bullard?
Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. La li la li la li la. I need to find some sort of proof. And it's gonna happen sooner rather than later. October 14, 12:21 p.m. District Court. Courtroom number 6. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Look at me. Please take the stand.
Well. How do you do, Sir Lawyer? Mr. Noby Grand?
I am doing quite grand, thank you very much.
Arr! I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly.
I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Masty Mask.
Answer. I'm afraid even the great Look at me has no idea what you mean.
Of course, I have been in the courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning.
I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here.
You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Masty Mask.
Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example.
It sure is a lovely looking ring. A lovely looking red diamond ring that sits on your finger and sparkles as we speak. So you continue to insist that you are in fact Masty Mask?
Of course.
Very well then, look at me. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 AM, Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at the time?
One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. And shame is one thing he himself should feel, without the knowledge of having such shame, when he himself lacks said knowledge of he himself being ashamed. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge.
Thanks. Alright, Mr. Edney. The night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears.
As you wish, Sir Prosecutor.
The alibi.
I was stealing the urn as Masty Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Masty Mask was the same time as the murder.
He says the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well.
Even the great Masty Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. and get myself some tremendously deluxe, innumerably greasy, all-night Italian, succulent, and disgustingly damn fine round-shaped cheesy friend. It's pizza time!
Unfortunately, Mr. Admin, I still have to do your cross-examination.
A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Ya full of a took. Ya tull of a fook. Ya cuff of a loot. Ya cull of a tooth.
Anyway...
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick.
Anyway... The only thing that's full of it is his alibi.
Alright, then. Let's get to it.
I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would.
So this photograph is the proof, correct?
Indeed it is. Indubitably.
And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask.
That is why I'm called Master Mask.
But conveniently, that also means that there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean?
Objection!
Ha! Are you saying that this is not in fact, look at me? It could be an accomplice dressed up as Master Mask to create an alibi.
Aha! What an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice?
Yeah, I don't think so. If we are to go by what I discussed before, I don't think he had an accomplice. And even if he had one, I don't think we can determine who it is at this point, because nowhere did I find like an evidence to make it so that he had an accomplice or so. It always seemed like he worked alone. So let's just give it up for now, because if there is evidence to prove that there was an accomplice, we're gonna come back to this statement. So if Look At Me was a KB security during the murder, then the Master Mask in this picture has to be a fake.
Then there really was an accomplice.
But right now, I have no idea who it was.
I don't have any idea right now either.
Nexus objections are just what the guy wants. There's gotta be another way. I'm going to find it.
I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job.
I believe Agent N just hired you at one point.
That's right. Indubitably. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
You sent a calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right?
Indeed. Indubitably. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target.
I see. You truly are evil, aren't you?
Yes. Evil is what I am.
Your evilness is proportional to how long your nose is, after all.
Hey Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Edmund was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
Yeah, you know, that's true. It is kind of odd. Can we use that against him? I wonder?
A photograph contains no words. But in this case, one turned out to be my witness.
So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here. Is that correct?
Indeed it is. That is it! The very thing that proves I committed the crime!
The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. Indeed.
It's like preparing the stage before the magic show begins. You had your own tools you could use to fool the audience with your illusions.
Objection!
He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that.
Indubitably. It turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime, after all. Life is truly an ironic thing. A sad blue melody.
A little song your mama sang to you?
It was a blue melody. Such a blue you've never seen.
It looks like I better gather more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's gotta be something phony in that photo. Question is, how should we go at it with the fake photo of sorts?
The time at which the camera captured Masty Mask was the same time as the murder.
About the camera that took this photograph.
Oh, calm down. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Eh? You think I altered the timestamp of the photograph, don't you?
I'm afraid that's impossible. Photoshop is not yet a thing in Japan and California after all. The camera was set up by Lord Lee Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lord Lee Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I better find something else that could be suspicious.
So, this alibi is false?
It has to be. Or he couldn't have killed Mr. Butler at KB Security.
But I'm not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either the mask is in the photo is fake, or the photo itself is. Well, if I am to think about what I was thinking before about my theory, I wouldn't say that the photo is fake, but the killer definitely did something with the photo to make it an alibi for this. But okay, well, how should I go at it? Like, the time at which the camera captured Master Mask was the same time as the murder. I think that we should go with this, but as for evidence, how are we even supposed to go at it? Like, what evidence should we even use? Actually, let me see. Let me go back to this particular statement over here. I know that Maya said that there was something odd about this.
Evil. Evil.
Yeah, I can't say that I know how to use that against him. Let me see about this one. So by photograph, okay. The very thing it proves that he committed a crime.
Lordly Taylor provided a camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it.
Wait, is this a... I don't remember him saying that. Did he say that before?
That means I could not have killed Kane Bullet. Unless I had an accomplice.
Come on. Think think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? Yeah, well, there you go. Once again, we instead of presenting evidence, we had to press like multiple times, I guess. But, yeah. You bet your ass there is!
Are you implying that this picture is a fake?
You bet your ass I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. Indubitably. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night, before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well. Then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph that you find funny? It will definitely have to be, well,
the pink splotches.
The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Oh, blood! Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. Phew, and peach color at that. I was about to say, I cannot let that psychotic panda get in my way. You better believe. From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is, when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, it turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. It's almost as if something or someone made whatever was there vanish. Like, poof! Whoever it was used magic to do this. Well, speaking of that, I think it is time I prepare my grand magic spell for today. This is gonna be exciting. Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? Well, I think that's for sure. It should have been Amy Faye's golden statue there. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it.
I myself was there that night. The theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there! Objection! But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally? Jan, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. Ha! In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night?
Can you do it, Nick?
Do the cows go moo? The pigs go oink oink? And look at me go wah 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 wah? Of course! Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Truly. Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Like a pizza. It's look at me. The one who moved the statue is none other than... Look at me! Come now, sir lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. Indubitably, the statue was in the way, and, well, he had to move it so the picture would have the pink splotches shown in it. Kazing Kazung! Such a villainous trick on us he sprung. And that is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue?
The reason can be found here in this photograph.
Look at me. You pretended to be Mask the Mask to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like a cheap film at the drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue. Single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? Okay, I think I'm getting what Nick is trying to say here. He's talking about the timestamp. Cause since we know that the statue was moved that night there, and well, since we know the timestamp that is shown in this photo, it really contradicts things a little bit. Naturally, the lie in this photo is a timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Look at Me went to KB's security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Terror at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor. When was the statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime. And it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Look at Me had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. Indubitably. He very well could have taken the photo days before, as part of his preparation for murder and, creating an alibi. The paint was there, right, for days, but not the statue. He had no choice but to take a photo himself with the paint. But, well, the photo in question could have been used as evidence against his alibi if the statue was in the way. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Oh. So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Admin must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in the rocking chair factory, so to speak. Or as nervous as a long-nosed Pinocchio about to get swallowed by a giant whale. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Look at Me had to move the statue on the right on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. Order! Order! Mr. Admin, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What was that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. Objection! It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. Yep. You said it yourself, Mr. Ace Detective. Slip of the tongue. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Order! Order! Mr. Garo, what is the meaning of this? Garo, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. My 11th cup. I promised to drink no more than 17 during the trial. Which means I'm still good till the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point. So what? We are all travelers on a road of infinite points.
I think he's got his point mixed up with his other points.
So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that cannot be denied. Which is... that it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true.
No way. Don't fall for that, Your Honor. Don't fall into the dark side, Judge. The dark side, which is his black coffee.
Hey, Mr. Damask.
Yes?
If there is no funny business in your actions as Mass Damask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred herb.
Alright. The sacred herb heist. I first received a request from a lowly tailor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zvarrkling! He was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself, until the day of the crime. Eh? I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM on October 12th.
That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Okay, so if we are to go through this, we will have to find a contradiction in the sense that he did see the urn, right? Okay, well, while we are focusing on this, I think it's time I bring in the big guns. I can already feel it. The big magic spell of the decade is gonna begin soon enough. Yeah, we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you sure there are no mistakes in this time?
Zvarrkling.
Very well then. Ms. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Alrighty then. Let me see how we shall tackle this. I first received a request from lowly tailor about 20 days ago.
You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right?
Indubitably. It seemed that they had heard of my Zvarrkling reputation.
I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos.
You better watch out too, Maya. Yeah, truly. The urn was placed in a box and... Zvarrkling! He was then sent to the warehouse.
You mean this box?
Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. And she wouldn't let anyone enter their storeroom, not even me.
Huh, interesting new tidbit.
Yeah, and it makes sense. The reason why she didn't allow anyone to see the urn is because, well, she broke it again, and with pink splotches on it as well, so she made sure no one would see it, including look at me. Like, he surely was aware of it looking like it was broken, but I don't think he ever saw the broken urn with pink splotches and all. Or, at least, I assume he didn't. Otherwise, I think the contradiction is somewhere else. Let's see. Cause... I mean, he definitely must have at some point. There are still some details left to discuss though. For example...
Nope.
We're done here. This is enough. But But what about the emergency? Shh! No need to think about it anymore. The rest will be proven in the trial. And then we shall see if what you said will end up true. I guess so. In which case, we shall end it here. See you tomorrow, Mage Noby. Not so fast! You're not going anywhere, my lovely hunk of calcium. We need to talk. About what? About you, of course. You've been feeling sad deep inside. Could it be because of what Mr. Adney said the other day? What does he have to do with anything? Anything! Come on, spill it up, my friend. I mean, there's nothing to spill. It's just... Look, it's nothing. I'm just being a realist here. There's nothing wrong with saying that I'm... I know I said in the past that if things were to end one way, it would be my way. And that no matter what horrible things might happen, I will still solve cases in Japan. But, truth be told, I don't know how long it will be till it all ends. Or what I have to show for it after all these years of solving cases. I have confronted some of my demons, conquered them, but I guess I still have some left unsolved, even without Nefarious. I feel like I could have achieved something grand by now if I've done things better. And it is because of that you do not consider yourself good enough these days. Great. I mean, that is all I needed now, to feel like a protagonist with competence issues or some shit. That is all. Shh. Noby, let me ask you. Why is being a detective so special to you? Why did you become one? Well, I started being one back in the first killing game. It was for fun at first, like, hey, let me pretend to be a detective for the first time. Try something new. With time, it became a part of me, for the reason that when a case is solved, someone would end up happy or stronger because of it, or survive all the suffering that killing games made the students go through. Every time when we solved a case in Japan, it was a happy ending. Best example I can give is for Agent. Truly. But there is something more to it, though, I'm sure. I guess there's also the fact that I admire some of the best detectives out there. Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot, Kyoko. Gumshoe, despite not being on the same levels as those I mentioned, is hardworking and competent on his own. Maybe that's also a reason why you became one. You wanted to become someone. Someone to be admired. You see how smart these detectives are and how popular they are that you wanted to feel admired too. Maybe. I find detectives to be some of the coolest and smartest people in the world. I mean, I didn't care so much about all this stuff before, but I guess with time it hit me more and more how difficult it is to be an actual detective. No actual school, I make mistakes, other detectives will do a lot better than me. Shh! Can you do me a favor, please? Just take off your mask. And do not wear it anymore. Take it off now. What? But I'm still recovering from my sickness. What if I end up exploding in someone's face if I sneeze tomorrow? Everything will be fine. It will not happen. You can trust me on this. So, please. There you go. Now, here's something I want you to do for me. Do not think. You know, it's kind of hard not to think about. I don't mean the subject at hand. What I mean is, do not think at all. You have reached a point where you think too much. Think only when you have to in the present. I mean, not telling you to ignore the problem, of course. What I mean is, you should focus on what you have now. The only thing left to do in the trial, for example, is to just go with the flow. And I will help you with that. Here. This is what I would like to call the Magical Notebook of Life, or you can call it whatever you want. In it, I want you to do this. Write down every single thing that is happening in the present that is positive. This will be your new task. Nothing else matters anymore. Listen, everyone in the world ends up questioning themselves at some point in their lives. Some more than others. Now, I cannot say that I'm an expert in this to tell you the solution, but
One thing I can tell you for sure is that you've been doing this for so long because there's something meaningful to it that you hold dearly to your heart. Because if there wasn't, you would have quit years ago. And the harsh truth is that at some point, your journey is going to end. It won't last forever. If you want my opinion, you should keep going. And you should keep going with this notebook in mind. I mean, who knows? Maybe it will bring you more peace in your mind and heart if you do this. Maybe that way, look at me's words that he told you might end up resonating with you more as time goes on. You know what? I don't want to hear it. I'm getting tired of all this stuff that you and Look at Me keep telling me. I am Grant. I know that everything will be fine. There's a case we have to solve now, and there's plenty more where they came from, so I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I am gonna keep this notebook with me. Just gonna humor you. Just write it in my spare time.